me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Let's go! I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, gotta feel the vengeance. In my thoughts,
Welcome back, everybody. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video. Today we are going to be doing what I think will be my final mock draft. This is going to be the mock draft that I think we can go by. And this is what I'm going to say would be my best possible mock draft, best possible scenario. This is where I just see them going. I mean, depending on the Dalvin Cook trade, obviously we don't know what Dalvin Cook is going to do or if he's going to get released. So not 100% sure, but we're going to be assuming that he does not come to the Dolphins. And this would be like just the actual draft, just without any outside factors. If he does come here, then we'll update it. But this is what I think is going to happen for our draft. So we're going to get right into it. We are going to start off with, I believe that the Dolphins are going to trade back in the second round. I think we're going to get a fourth round pick. We'll probably get rid of one of our players like Cedric or one of the other players. And I think we're going to get a fourth round pick so that we have at least 5 picks in this draft. So with round 2, we are going to trade back probably to 58 or something like that. I believe we get Tucker Kraft. I think Tucker Kraft is going to be the tight end that mostly emulates what the Dolphins are trying to do. I think we need to look at the types of tight ends that we've seen in that type of system, and they're not necessarily speedsters and all of that. They are guys that can block like Kittle, and they are guys that can catch the ball and do something after the catch. What is perfect about Tucker Kraft is he is not going to be the guy that, shakes you and moves around, but I don't think that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a tight end that can block, and Tucker Kraft is going to give you that blocking capability. And what he's going to do also is that when he gets the ball in his hands, he's not going to shake you. He's going to run right through you. And that's what I think we want from our tight ends. The Dolphins want a tight end that can block, that isn't going to need to run out on like long streaking routes, but that catches the ball and makes a difference after he catches the ball. Tucker Kraft is that perfect type of tight end that you're basically getting a guy that will put someone's face in the ground every time he gets the ball. He's not going down easy. It's going to be the polar opposite of Gesicki. I think it's very funny that we got rid of Gesicki and a lot of people want to get like Laporta. I'm not trying to down anybody's stuff, but I'm just sitting here thinking like, okay, we had Gesicki and he couldn't block at all. And now you're getting a guy that is smaller than Gesicki, and he's also not going to be able to block. So what was the point in getting rid of Gesicki when we could have just signed him back for a 1-year deal? I believe we're getting a tight end that can block. That is what we are trying to get in this draft. We're not going to get a tight end that's like Kincaid or something like that. That's just coming in and going to be basically the same thing that we had last year. They did not like that. That's why they like Smythe so much, because he can block. Smythe can get there and block. So you are going to have tight ends that can block on the Miami Dolphins. The speedsters are going to be the receivers. The tight ends are going to be blocking, and they'll go out for pass catches. Now, they could be a superstar and turn into Kittle or, God, I'm forgetting the name. I don't know why I'm blanking on the best tight end in the game, but on the Chiefs. But that's crazy. But you are getting a tight end that is going to block. That is what they want in the Dolphins organization. They want to have a guy that blocks and goes out and creates a mess when he gets on the field and when he gets the ball in his hands. The receivers are going to be the fast guys. The tight end is going to be the guy that is very physical, that can establish his dominance and then can go out for passes as well. We are not going to get a guy that can't block. It just doesn't make any sense to me why they would just get the same type of tight end that they had last year. Sam Laporta is like 6'3". He's not blocking anybody. I'm sorry, he can give maximum effort, but it's impossible for someone like that to be a factor in the run blocking game. So round 2, Tucker Kraft. Round 3, people want to say that we're going to get a guard or whatever. We could get that, but I also think that if you get Luke Whippler in the 3rd round, you can move Connor Williams to guard, and then you have your superstar guard, and you also have a center now. Because Luke Whippler, of course, he's not going to be exciting. He's not going to be the guy that mauls you. He's not going to be any of those things. But what he's going to be is he is technically sound, and he is also going to be very just consistent in his play. So what you would be getting with Luke Whippler is you would be getting a guy that is going to be a consistent center. He might turn into a superstar. He might also just be a pretty good center. And then you can move Connor Williams to guard. Then you have Teron Armstead. And then you have Austin Jackson, which they're saying he's going to start this year. And then you have Robert Hunt. And then you actually have a very complete line. Luke Whippler, the snapping issues are not going to be a problem. They weren't so bad with Connor. He did very well last year, but still kind of was an issue. He still is not a true center. You move him back to guard, and then you allow Luke Whippler to come in and be the center that you need to have. You have a young center. You can sign Connor Williams, and then you solidify that line for a decent amount of time. Luke Whippler, everybody, I think, wants to get the guy that is just going to have all these crazy highlights. The thing with offensive linemen is most of the time you just want a guy that you don't even hear about. That's really what you want about an offensive lineman. You want a guy that you never really mention his name, because then that means that he's not messing up. He's not doing bad things. If you don't mention their name, then they're probably one of the best in the league, because offensive linemen, they don't get credit because they don't make highlights. They just play good football, and that's what you want. Luke Whippler will be that consistent presence in the offensive line, and then you secured your offensive line. Now, round 4, I am doing this draft based upon the fact that we don't have Dalvin Cook. So round 4, I'm going to stick with the guy that I want us to get. I think round 4, you get Kendre Miller, and then you secure your running backs. I think Kendre Miller is going to be one of the most underrated things. I think he's going to be a gem in the draft. He's going to be the one out of maybe, I would say, 3 running backs that can be truly a workhorse running back. And you get him in the 4th round, and then you have that young guy that can just continually grow and progress and get better. When he was coming up in TCU, he did not have many playing opportunities because of the running backs that were there. So when he got his chance, literally scored a touchdown in every single game. So you have a goal line threat. Also, he does not go down. So you are going to get the same type of thing that Mostert had, but this guy is going to be much more agile. Kendre Miller has very much so dancing in his feet. He can move and get away from people. Now, does he need to lower his shoulder a little bit more? Sure, he does. But this guy, literally, it's one of the hardest things to bring down Kendre Miller. And I think the intangibles with him is just that constant drive, which you can translate that to the NFL, where a lot of people that come into the NFL, you don't have that tangible effect that you would have like he does, where he just refuses to go down. Kendre Miller, I think, is going to be the gem of the draft. I think this guy, whatever team he goes to, hopefully it's the Dolphins, but I believe that he's going to be one of those guys that you don't talk about too much right now, which blows my mind because, TCU's offense kind of, utilized him, but also didn't utilize him in a lot of ways. And he's going to be 220, 5'10". He's big. He's pretty decently fast. I mean, he didn't run or do anything for the combine because obviously you got injured. It's a knee. You don't want to showcase bad tape, so you just want to let people see what the tape is on the field. And that's why he's going in the 4th round, is that he just hasn't shown a lot besides his actual tape. But what we can see here is that you can get a workhorse back, and you can get a guy. There are plenty of plays where he does amazing catches, just a highlight reel. And that's kind of what you want from your running back. You just want a running back that sparks the offense, because that's what it's for. Our offense, when we are not doing well, the problem that we had is, 1, we would move away from the run. And 2, the running backs, until Mostert would get in, sometimes just didn't have a spark. They didn't give you that spark. And when you don't, our offense kind of slows down. In the Chargers game and things like that, Chargers, 49ers sometime, we really didn't run the ball that much. And sometimes when you see your running back just run someone over, it just makes the whole team start changing their momentum throughout the game. That's what Kendre Miller can bring you, is that he can bring you that guy that gives you that spark, 1-2 plays, and he gets the whole team going, and then your momentum starts rolling again. Round 6, because that's going to be the next draft, unless I don't think they'll trade any more things to get draft picks, but round 6, I think you go running back again, just based upon the fact that he might be the best overall player that you can get in the 6th round, and that's going to be Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn, I think, also, people don't talk about him very much, but that guy is one of the most underrated players in college football. And if you're in the 6th round and Deuce Vaughn is still there, I really do believe that you go grab him because he can do so much, not just in the running game, but also in the passing game. I mean, he could be that third down gadget type player that you send out for a pass and he could take it for 60 yards. I mean, of course, he is small. That is why he's going to be going in the 6th round. But the dude, if he was normally sized, like 5'10", whatever it may be, 200 pounds, probably would be the best running back in this draft. And that's what the unfortunate thing about it is, he probably would be the best running back because he just does Barry Sanders type stuff. So you get him in the 6th round. 1, you have a kick returner, kick and punt returner besides Braxton Berrios. And then 2, you get a guy that is instant spark. He is small, but if you get him in the open field, he is very tough to bring down. And for me, I don't think he turns into, a premier running back. That's why he goes in the 6th round. I don't think he turns into a premier running back because he's too small and he'll get taken down very easily. But I do believe that you get him in the open field, you throw a pass out to him in the flat, and he'll take it for like 20 yards. And that is just, you don't find very much of that in the 6th round. So if somebody like that is there, then you go grab him and you let him give a little bit more explosiveness to the offense. Around 7, I believe Jason Sanders has really, really underwhelmed us after we gave him that contract. So I believe you take a kicker in this round. I think the best possible option would be to get Jake Moody. I think Jake Moody would be the best possible bet to get what you need to get in this round. I think Jake Moody was probably one of the best kickers in this collegiate year. And if you get him in round 7, I think you can get rid of Sanders' contract as well. And then you have a young guy that can come in and compete. And you have a young guy that I think that Jason Sanders kind of lost his confidence. And as a kicker, sometimes it's really hard to get that back. And if you don't have confidence as a kicker, you get 3, maybe 4 plays every game to showcase that you're good. And if you miss one of those, your confidence starts failing. So you need a guy that's going to come in that doesn't get deterred by that. I think Jason Sanders, his confidence is just not really there anymore. And it sucks because he started out really good. I don't think he knows how to handle game pressure. We had a couple lucky shots, but there was a lot of kicks that he missed last year. And it's unfortunate. And that there are a lot of games that were influenced by the kicker last year. So I think you can get somebody that can make a difference in the 7th round. And then what you do is you have a guy that can make a difference every single round that you pick them. Sometimes you got to take players that just make a difference on your team. And that's what I think you do. I know I didn't take any defensive players, but that might be an option as well. I just really do believe we spent so much money on the defensive side of the ball. And we're also signing Christian Wilkins. I think there's so much money on the defensive side of the ball now that this draft needs to get a little bit more on the offensive side. I could be wrong. Dion Henley is still out there too. He could be picking in the 3rd round as well. I don't know, but I think they are going to try and get offensive players in this draft so that we can complete what we needed to complete, because there's a lot of things that we needed. And I think we got a lot of that on the defense throughout the offseason. We got so many players, safeties, linebackers, we got corners, we got everything, defensive ends. I mean, we literally outside linebackers. We got every single thing on the defense, and we got a couple things on offense. We didn't make too many splashes. So I think that's what they're going to use the draft for. As always, hope you have a great rest of your day, guys. It's always awesome making these videos. Thank you for all the comments that you guys showcase. We're almost at 1,000, so that's pretty awesome. But as always, hope you have a great rest of your day. Fins up. Peace.